Now you can see that Garry is threatening to capture this e4 pawn with the knight because this knight on c3 is pinned by the black queen. So that's why here white decides to bring his bishop to d3, defending this e4 pawn. But here, developing the knight might be the better option for black. Now here, capturing with the rook will be a bad choice for black, because then white will simply brings his bishop to e4, which attacks this rook, as well as you can see that by this white bishops will get a very strong diagonal. So that's why here, after seeing this all, Kasparov decides to capture this with his c pawn, which also covers this e4 square so that this light square bishop can't enter into it. Okay, so as you can see that white is threatening to capture this b5 pawn, and most of us will simply go back to play this a6 move to guard this b5 pawn, but not Kasparov. Instead, he develops his knight to d7, attacking this rook, and after this, white immediately captures on b5. And now, can you guess the next move played by Kasparov? No, I think you can't, because in this position, Kasparov shocks everyone by sacrificing his queen by simply taking on g2, completely giving up his queen. And white simply takes on b6, knight takes b6, and now after all, you can see that white kingside structure is completely damaged. Here, instead of bishop b5, in this position, white must consider bishop to d2 with the idea of bishop a5, trying to pin this knight. Guys, here instead of bishop to b2, firstly, black must consider this move knight to d7, opening the b file for this rook. And suppose if white tries to attack this rook by his bishop, then simply rook to b8, attacking this b4 pawn. And if bishop to b5, a6 takes, rook takes b3, and you can see that black is doing great. Okay, so in the actual game, after bishop to b2, now you can see that if white gives another check from f6 square, then it will be a draw. But white is a fighter. Instead, he goes for a5, attacking this knight. And in this position, Anthony finds this amazing move, bishop to c4, cutting the diagonal between this cutting the file of this rooks. And obviously you can't capture this bishop because so you can't capture this bishop because then white will capture this rook. So that's why here Kasparov simply slides his rook. Now here white must consider to push this pawn, but he decides to play bishop to b5 attacking this rook, but which is a huge blunder. This is because now Kasparov simply brings his rook to c8 attacking this queen. But why this is losing for white? This is because now after giving a check from f6 square, and after this king to g8, now you can see that here white cannot give another check from this d8 square because this complete file is covered by this rook. So basically there is no repetitive checks, so that's why now this position is better for black. And in this position, white sacrificed his bishop by bishop takes e6. This is because after capturing back, you can see that now black king is opened and white gives a check from his queen. And in this position, Anthony resigned. This is because suppose if white tries to give some checks like queen to f3 check, but simply king to g5, and now you can see that there is no more checks. So here white can actually play king to g1, unpinning this, getting out from this danger, but simply rook takes f2. And if queen to e4, simply rook at f goes to e2, and clearly you can see that white is lost because now this queen cannot do too much here. And you can see that here this queen cannot match these two powerful strong rooks and this powerful knight. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.